Hello friends, this is Naveen from the Indian YouTuber channel, and actually we are working on a playlist called CCA Spark and Hadoop Developer. In the previous video, actually we discussed it regarding what are the certification options that are available in the big data market and why we need to go with CCA Spark and Hadoop Developer if you are a starter. That means if you are a newbie to the big data market, then why you have to go with CCA Spark and Hadoop Developer. And as a part of the overview, actually in the previous video we discussed regarding what are the things and what is the passing percentage and criteria. If you are unaware of this, please go to my previous video and get some knowledge regarding how much is the pass percentage and all these things. So in this video actually we are going to discuss regarding what is the content actually that is present in the CCA 175. Yeah, so if you see, right, this is the link for the CCA 175. If you see, right, the skills that are required to clear the certification are clearly given in the required skills section of this URL. You can get this URL by typing in the Google directly CCA 175, and the first link will definitely take you to over here. So the required skills are data ingesting. What is data ingesting actually? Data ingesting is something like loading the data. It may be importing or exporting the data. It is something like a communication of the data between two different systems. Something like the data is in some relational databases and you need to take the data to the HDFS. How you actually this data ingesting section will focus on that. If you see, right, the skills, the data ingesting means the skills to transfer data between external systems and your cluster. Here the cluster in the sense means they are referring to the big data cluster. So the first section is importing a data from MySQL database into HDFS using scoop, which is something like there must be some tables in the tables in the MySQL database, and you want to take the data that is present in the database into the Hadoop distributed file system. How you can do that? For doing that, actually we have a tool in big data such as Scoop. This is the tool that is responsible for importing the data into HDFS or exporting the data from HDFS to the big data systems, to the relational database systems. So the first section is importing a database from MySQL database into HDFS using Scoop. The second section is exporting a data, and third one is changing the delimiter. I will discuss you what is the change in the delimiter. Actually delimiter is the one which will be something like a comma or something. If you are copying a data from the database, something like a relational database, actually you will be having the data in the form of tables. Actually tables are going to have the columns, and once you will copy the data from a table into an HDFS system, you will be having a default delimiter of comma. If you want to change the delimiter, you can change the delimiter and the file formats also. There are a lot of file formats that are available in the big data system for further processing. For further processing in the sense means actually we will get this data and we will analyze the data by using some of the other programming languages, using Scala or in Python, by using Spark, and we are going to see that also. And the fourth section will focus on ingesting real-time and near real-time streaming data into HDFS using Flume. What is Flume? Flume is a log collector tool. Actually, whenever we start some web server, there are some, you may be saving the logging activity. We as a Java developer, I can say that there are a lot of logging that we will do. We will be having debug logs, info logs, error logs, and all these things. So if you want to analyze what is the uptime of the system completely, so if you want to analyze, you just want to know what you just will get to know what is the uptime of the complete system over a period of a month or a period of a year, and how it is performing. You can get all the log data of that system, and you can import and you can run some big data jobs, and you will get the health of the system by using that. So if you want to take the web logs and you want to keep that web logs in the big data environment, you need a tool called Flume. Flume is basically a log collector tool, and it will take the logs and it will put in the big data environment. That's it. And the fifth one is loading data into and out of HDFS using Hadoop system file commands. Actually this is the pretty basic thing. This is the thing that everybody should know, one who is starting with a big data environment, and I'm going to explain this thing in very detail. What are the tools, what are the commands available. If you are not at all familiar with Linux environment also, I'm going to make sure that you will be clear with each and every command that you are using. And the first section is completed. The first section mostly focuses on importing and exporting data and changing the delimiter values and collecting the logs from the web servers and making by using Flume, and it is some special commands for the HDFS. And if you see, right, the second section is regarding the transform, stays and store. What is the transform, stays and store? See, if you see, right, the explanation is given over here. The convert a set of data values in a given format in HDFS into new data values or a new data format and write them to HDFS. This includes writing Spark applications in both Scala and Python. This is what I emphasized in the previous video also. You are not at all supposed to write, or you are not at all supposed to learn only a single language. You should be familiar with both the languages, and they will ask you to write the code either in Scala or in Python, and you have to do it. So if you see, right, the first section is regarding the load data from HDFS and store results to HDFS using Spark. So in this particular section, actually I'm going to cover all the 5 topics, all the 5 subtopics over here, by using Scala as one set of videos and by using Python as other set of videos. And if you see, right, the loading data from HDFS and store the results into HDFS using Spark. Spark is actually in-memory processing engine to process the data that we have in HDFS, and it is pretty fast compared to the typical MapReduce jobs that we will run every day. I am going to explain what is MapReduce and what is Spark, everything. And second thing is join disparate data sets using together using Spark. It is something like a join that we use in relational databases. If you are familiar with the relational databases, you can get to it. And third one is calculating aggregate statistics such as average or sum using Spark. You can calculate the max and min also, whatever the aggregation operations you should be able to perform by using the Spark. And fourth one is filtering data into small data set using Spark. Here filtering in the sense means we have some it means actually you will be having some data which something like some transactional data. You may be having some data related to the orders that are placed, and you want to filter the orders based on something like you want to know how many orders are placed on some particular date. That is called filtering. And by using that filtering, actually you can divide a big data set into a small data set. And fifth one is writing a query that produces ranked or sorted data using Spark. Actually, in the sorting the data or the ranking the data means it is something like a sort by key that if you are familiar with relational databases. But we are going to see how we will going to do that by using big data, in big data environment. And the third section is data analysis. If you see, right, they have clearly mentioned that using data definition language to create tables in the Hive metastore by using Hive and Impala. So you have to be familiar with both Hive and Impala. And if you see, right, the subsections are reading and creating a table in Hive metastore in a given schema. Something like they will give you some schema. If you are familiar with the UML diagrams, if you are from Java background, or if you are into coding, you can understand what they are talking about. They will give you some UML diagram and they are asking to create a table or read that if the table is existing, you have to read the content, and extract an Avro schema from a set of data files using Avro tools. Actually, Avro tools is one of the other thing to get the schemas and to get the metadata from Avro files. You should be familiar how to do that one also. I am going to explain this one very detailed. And you have to create a table in Hive metastore using Avro format. Actually, Avro is something like a JSON format. If you are familiar with the JavaScript background, you will understand what I am talking about. And improve the query performance by creating partition tables in the Hive metastore. What is the use of the partition tables? Actually, the partition tables will improve the performance very great. The performance will get improved if you are working on a very large sets. Typically, big data environments, you deal with some petabytes of data or some exabytes of data. If you are dealing with such a huge amount of data and you want to query some part of data, so the best way to do is by doing the partitions. So how you are going to improve the query performance by creating partition tables, you are going to see that. And fifth one is evolving an Avro schema by changing JSON files. What they are talking about over here is whenever you import the data from a relational database into the HDFS system, you will be given two files. One is the data file that is copied in the Avro format, and the other is the schema file. What you need to do is you have to evolve an Avro schema by changing JSON first. Something like you may be having some two columns in the data that is imported, and you want to change it is something like the alter table command. You want to increase the number of the columns. You can do that by using evolving an Avro schema. So I think most probably I'll be clear. So let's revisit this one. The first thing is it is something like importing and exporting the data using scope, and the second thing is using the flumes we will collect the web logs, and third one is by using the HDFS commands we will take the data in and out. And here in the transform stage and store section we are taking the big data sets, big data sets, and we are going to perform some aggregate operations or some filtering operations or some joining operations by using Spark and Scala. And in the third section actually we will create the hive tables, and we will deal with Avro schema. I will explain what the Avro schema is in the later video, and in the next video actually we will see what are the documentation that are available when you are writing or when you are attempting the CCA 175 certification. I will explain about that in very detail in the next video. If you have any comments regarding this video, please leave the comment in the comment section below. And if you have any queries regarding this one, please leave a comment below. And if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.